Remembering or Rewriting, the Role of War Memorials in Preserving the Past, presented by John Chrowstowski. War memorials serve as an effort to reduce historical amnesia. However, history will inevitably repeat itself, despite these reminders of past atrocities. War memorials are structures that prevent historical amnesia. However, history will repeat itself despite their presence. First, what is historical amnesia? The Oxford Review describes historical amnesia as selectively remembering certain parts of history. This can be seen in war memorials where only one part of history can be seen, usually emphasizing bravery and sacrifice while omitting darker truths. For example, some memorials may highlight heroism while omitting the brutality and massacre that the event may have endured. The stimulus piece False Nostalgia by Johann Norberg effectively explains selective memory and what it means. Selective memory is when the past is romanticized or selectively remembered. This is dangerous as memories that are evident glorify events and ignore the darker aspects. The Maori oral narratives provide a more unique way of remembering the past. Through dance, song, and storytelling, the Maori's past is passed down through generations. This is unlike static memorials, as they are subject to change and are highly up to perspective. The purpose of memorials is to provide a physical representation of the past and hopefully prohibit the reoccurrence of these tragedies. In this study done by the National Library of Medicine, participants were given either a real tangible objects like this real lemon and real light bulb, a drawn image, or a photocopy. Participants would be given 5 seconds to look at these objects, and then a curtain would hide it, and then new objects would appear. After 10 rounds, participants would be tasked with remembering any objects that they could. 80 to 90% of individuals who had the tangible physical objects remembered all of them. This proves that three-dimensional objects elicit memory and recollection. An example of a war memorial today is the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington. This war memorial is visited by around 5 million people annually. It consists of two main sites, the Wall of Names and the Three Soldiers. The Wall of Names is a wall of names with all the deceased soldiers, servicemen, and women who lost their lives during the war. This displays the gravity of the situation and puts into perspective how many human lives were lost during this war. The Three Soldiers is 3 statues which accurately describes how soldiers looked and lived like during the war. Although both sites elicit some form of remembrance, Julian Corbin of the Boston University says that the Three Soldiers strengthens the memorization process because of the viewer's inherent empathy toward the human form. However, war memorials bring about much controversy because are they better at emphasizing heroism or downplaying the horrible truths? In this monument of Commander Adam Jashiri, of the rebel leader in Kosovo, it can be seen that Adam Jashiri was a rebel leader in the Kosovo War. He earned the title Uncle Adam among other rebels and civilians. However, to Serbian authorities, he was seen as a terrorist. This monument shows his bravery and sacrifice in the war. However, it does not show the massacre that he and his family endured. At the start of the Kosovo War, Adam Jashiri and 60 of his family members were shot dead by Yugoslav police force. This cannot be seen anywhere near the monument. Although war memorials are efficient, history tends to repeat itself. When the Neville Chamberlain and Adolf Hitler appeasement was signed, Adolf Hitler was given the opportunity to seize all of Sudetenland if he was to cease fire. This Munich Agreement was signed, however, Adolf Hitler went against his word and later invaded the eastern part of Czechoslovakia. This can be compared to contemporary events as President Donald Trump is trying to create an appeasement with Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin would be given the opportunity to seize eastern parts of Ukraine, but in turn would cease fire. But what is stopping Putin from going back on his word just like Hitler, even given with examples of how horribly appeasements can go with the book Appeasement by Tim Bouverie? In conclusion, war memorials are valuable tools that can help to reduce historical amnesia. However, they are often downplayed and are not paid attention to. This begs the question, are we rewriting history or remembering it? This is the work cited.
Okay, John. So John, what information did you need that you weren't able to find in your research of this?
So public statistics on if war memorials actually help remember would have been useful because it would have provided a concrete and reliable information if war memorials actually do help remembrance, but I could not find this anywhere.
Okay. And then what are the implications of your findings to the community?
So my implications to the findings of the community are that the community should be more critical towards war memorials, as if they are not paid attention to, then they serve no purpose, but they hold a true and deep meaning of our past. And if they are just looked over, then we will not see the gravity of the situation and learn from our mistakes.